I opened my cousin's bedroom door, and what I saw froze me to the core. The creak of that old oak door hit me like a gut punch, slicing through the humid summer air of our family cabin in the Wisconsin woods. It was barely 7 a.m., the kind of dawn where the sun slants low and golden through the pines, painting everything in that deceptive, honeyed light that makes you think the world's still soft and forgiving. I remember the smell first, stale coffee from the pot I'd brewed downstairs, mixed with the earthy tang of lake water clinging to my skin from the morning swim. My bare feet stuck slightly to the worn pine floorboards, each step a quiet protest against the silence that had settled over the house after last night's barbecue. Laughter faded. To come up here to escape, really. Chicago's grind as a graphic designer had been chewing me up. Endless deadlines, pixel peeping on a screen that never blinked, clients who treated ideas like disposable napkins. At 28, I felt like a ghost in my own life, sketching other people's dreams while mine blurred into nothing. This cabin, my aunt's place since Uncle Ray passed 5 years back, was supposed to be a reset. 3 weeks with family. Simple. Safe. But Jordan. God, Jordan. My cousin. We'd been thick as thieves since we were kids, him 2 years younger, always the one dragging me into trouble. Stealing firecrackers from the corner store in Milwaukee, racing bikes down that gravel road until our knees bled. He was the golden boy, the one who stayed close to home, teaching history to high schoolers in Madison now, molding young minds with that easy charisma that made everyone lean in. 26, built like he still played varsity soccer, with those hazel eyes that crinkled when he laughed, like the world was one big inside joke just for us. Last night, over beers by the fire pit, he'd been quieter than usual, staring into the flames, nursing his bottle, the crackle of logs popping like distant gunfire. "You ever feel like you're faking it, Alex?" he'd said, voice low, almost lost in the chorus of crickets. I shrugged it off, chalked it up to the whiskey. But it stuck with me, that raw edge in his tone, like a wire pulled too tight. Now his door was cracked open. Just an inch, but enough for the sliver of light to spill out, warm and inviting, like it was beckoning me. I don't know why I pushed it wider. Maybe the floorboard groaned under my weight, or maybe it was that nagging pull in my chest, the one that's been there since we hit puberty and I started noticing the way his shoulders filled out a t-shirt, the casual brush of his arm against mine sending sparks I buried deep. Family, right? That's what you do. The door swung in slow, hinges whispering a warning I ignored, and there he was. Jordan, silhouetted against the window, back to me, shirtless in the half-light. His skin glowed like polished oak, muscles shifting under the faint sheen of sweat as he moved. Not alone. There was someone else. A shadow, a hand on his hip, pulling him closer. Low murmurs, breathy and urgent, tangled with the rustle of sheets. A gasp, sharp and needy, cut the air, and then a name, mine. "Alex?" Jordan breathed, voice cracking like thunder in the quiet. Eyes squeezed shut as if conjuring me from thin air. My blood turned to ice. Legs locked, heart slamming against my ribs like it wanted out. The room spun, the faded quilt from Grandma's attic, the stack of dog-eared paperbacks on his nightstand, the faint scent of his cologne, cedar and smoke, now laced with something muskier, forbidden. Couldn't breathe, couldn't move. Froze me to the core that moment because it wasn't just shock. It was recognition. The mirror he'd held up, reflecting back the secret I'd chained in my gut for years. He hadn't seen me yet. The other guy, some stranger, faceless in the dim, leaned in, lips grazing Jordan's neck, eliciting a soft moan that twisted like a knife in me. Jealousy? No, deeper. Hunger. The kind that simmers slow until it boils over, scalding everything in its path. I backed out, door easing shut with a click that echoed like a gunshot in my skull. Down the hall, into my room, door locked behind me. Collapsed against it, sliding to the floor, breath coming in ragged bursts. The cabin's walls creaked in the breeze, mocking me. What the hell had I just walked into? And why did hearing my name on his lips feel like the world cracking open? Hours blurred. Breakfast smells wafted up. Bacon sizzling, Aunt Marie humming some old Patsy Cline tune in the kitchen. I splashed water on my face, stared at the mirror. Dark circles under blue eyes, stubble shadowing my jaw, the graphic tee clinging damp to my chest. Looked like a man unraveling. By the time I dragged myself downstairs, Jordan was at the table, flipping through his phone, coffee mug steaming. He glanced up, that easy smile flashing. "Morning, sleepyhead. You look like you saw a ghost." If only he knew. I forced a laugh gravelly and off. "Yeah, something like that." Poured coffee black, scalding my tongue on the first sip, grounding me. Aunt Marie bustled in, plates clattering, oblivious. "Boys, lake's calling today. Fishing poles ready." Jordan nodded, eyes lingering on me a beat too long. Or was that my imagination? The air between us hummed, charged like the storm clouds gathering over the water. All morning, as we baited hooks and cast lines into the glassy blue, I replayed it. The curve of his back, the way his head tilted back in surrender. My cousin, my fantasy. The taboo word clawed up my throat, bitter as wormwood. He nudged my shoulder mid-cast, bait bucket sloshing. "You okay, man?" Seemed distant. His voice was casual, but those eyes searching, like he could peel back my layers if he tried. I reeled in slow, lines singing through the water. Just city bullshit catching up. The hook caught nothing but silence. By afternoon, the heat pressed heavy, shirts discarded on the dock. We swam out, bodies cutting through cool depths, laughter echoing off the buoys. Underwater, world muffled. I watched him surface. Water sluicing down his chest, droplets catching the sun like diamonds. He shook his head, spraying me, grinning that boyish grin. "Race you to the raft." We stroked hard, competitive fire igniting. I won by a nose, hauling up onto the weathered wood, chest heaving. He followed, collapsing beside me, skin slick and warm where our arms brushed. The raft bobbed gentle, waves lapping like whispers. Close, too close. His breath evened out, ragged at first, then soft sighs. I turned, propping on elbow, studying the freckles across his nose, the scar from that bike crash when we were 12. "Jordan," I started, voice thick, but he rolled toward me, eyes half-lidded, lazy afternoon sun turning his lashes gold. "What?" For a heartbeat, the world narrowed. Salt on his skin, pine-scented breeze, the distant call of a loon. I wanted to spill it, the door, the name, the ache. Instead, nothing, just missed this. Us. His hand found mine, fingers lacing loose, thumb tracing my knuckle. "Me too." Simple words, but they landed heavy, stirring the air between us. We lay there till dusk crept in, purple bruising the sky, unspoken currents pulling stronger. Dinner was chaos. Cousins piling in from the city, laughter drowning doubts. But later, porch swing creaking under our weight, beers sweating in hands, it cracked open. "That girl from work," he said, staring at fireflies winking in the yard. "The one you mentioned?" Things fizzling. I snorted. Yeah, not clicking. Truth. Hadn't clicked with anyone since college. That fumbling hookup with a roommate that left me more confused than sated. Women were safe, expected. But the pull. Elsewhere. He nodded slow, swing chains rattling soft. "I get that. Sometimes you chase what you think you want and it just echoes." His voice dropped, vulnerability threading through. Sigh escaped him, long and weighted, like exhaling a burden. I shifted, knee bumping his, electricity zipping up my thigh. "Tell me." I pressed, heart thudding. Moon rose full, silvering the lake. He hesitated, fingers tightening on the bottle. "It's complicated. Family stuff. Expectations." Glanced at me sidelong, eyes dark pools. "You ever hide something big? From everyone?" The door flashed, his moan, my name. Swallowed hard, throat dry. Every day. We talked till stars wheeled overhead. Words weaving closer, barriers thinning. But as he stood, stretching, shirt riding up to bare a strip of skin, the conflict roared back. This was Jordan. Blood. The line we couldn't cross without shattering everything. That night, sleep evaded. Tossed in sheets twisted like my thoughts. Cabin settling around me with pops and groans. Dawn lightened the curtains when I heard it. Footsteps in the hall. His door. Curiosity, that damn traitor, pulled me up. A cracked mind peering out. Empty hall. But his door stood ajar again. Light spilling like an invitation. Heart in throat. I patted over. Breath shallow. Pushed it open. Empty. Bed unmade. Pillows askew. Then the bathroom door swung wide. Steam billowing. Jordan emerging in a towel low on hips. Water beating down his torso. He froze, eyes locking on mine. Alex! Time fractured. Towel slipped an inch, revealing the V of muscle dipping low. Heat flooded me, cheeks burning, gaze dropping before snapping back. Sorry, I thought I heard. Lie crumbled. He stepped closer, droplets pattering on the floor. Air thick with soap and steam, his scent enveloping. What's going on with you? Voice husky, edged with something raw. Concern? Or more? I backed up, bumping the doorframe. Nothing. Forget it. But he followed, hand on my arm, firm, electric. Skin seared under his palm. Talk to me. Plea in his tone, eyes searching mine. Inches apart now, breaths mingling. The pull was magnetic, inevitable. I saw you, I blurted, words tumbling. Last night. With him. And you said my name. Silence crashed, heavy as a wave. His face paled, hand dropping like burned. Alex, But I cut him off, stepping in, closing the gap. Why me? Why say it then? His breath hitched, chest rising fast. Because it's always been you, idiot. Since we were kids. But we're family. Anguish twisted his features. A sigh shuddering out. I can't ruin that. The dam broke. I cupped his face, thumbs brushing damp cheeks, pulling him in. Lips met, soft at first, tentative, then crashing, hungry. Salt and heat, tongues tangling, desperate. He groaned into my mouth, hands fisting my shirt, towing me back into the room. We tumbled onto the bed, towels and shirts shed in frenzy, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces long separated. Skin on skin, slick and urgent. His thigh between mine, friction sparking fire. Moans muffled against necks, gasps punctuating thrusts. The world narrowed to this. His weight pinning me, fingers tracing scars, whispers of finally and God, Alex. Climax hit like lightning, waves crashing, leaving us wrecked and entwined. After breath slowing, he traced patterns on my chest. This changes everything. Yeah. I murmured, fear and joy twisting. But maybe that's okay. Little did we know the real storm was just brewing. Sun crested high by the time we stirred, tangled in sheets that smelled of us now. Sweat and cedar, a new territory marked. Jordan's head on my chest, heartbeat syncing with mine. Steady thrum like a lullaby I never knew I needed. Fingers idly combed his curls, soft as cornsilk, while birdsong filtered through the screen, mocking the chaos we'd unleashed. Reality knocked soft at first. Aunt Marie's voice drifting up, calling for pancakes. We bolted upright, scrambling like guilty teens. Shit, Jordan hissed, yanking on boxers, face flushed not just from sleep. I mirrored him, pulse racing anew, the thrill of secrecy sharpening every glance. Downstairs, we played it cool, passing syrup, joking about yesterday's fish that got away. But under the table, his foot hooked mine, ankle circling slow, a private Morse code. I'm here. Aunt Marie chattered about town gossip, oblivious, her laugh like wind chimes. Cousins milled about, plates clinking, but my world tunneled to him. The way his throat bobbed on a swallow, the subtle flex of his forearm as he buttered toast. After, we escaped to the garage, pretense of fixing the old John boat. Dust motes danced in sunbeams slanting through grimy windows, air thick with oil and varnish. Tools clattered as we worked side by side, shoulders brushing electric. "Last night," he started, wrench slipping in his grip, voice low. "Wasn't planning that. But, fuck, Alex, I've wanted it forever." I set down the sander, wood shavings curling at my feet like question marks. Turned to him, grease-streaked cheek, eyes fierce. "Me too." Repressed it hard. Thought it was just admiration. Family shit. Laughed bitter, echoing off cinder-block walls. Turns out it's more like obsession. He stepped in, backing me against the workbench, hands framing my hips. Obsession's not bad if it's mutual. Kiss then, deep and unhurried, his body molding to mine, hard lines yielding soft. I tasted coffee on his tongue, felt the rumble of a groan vibrate through me. Hands roamed, mapping new landscapes. The dip of his spine, the firm curve of ass under denim. We broke apart gasping when tires crunched on gravel. More family arriving. Pulled away, adjusting clothes, hearts pounding. The day blurred into group hikes, laughter echoing through trails lined with ferns and birch, but stolen moments peppered it. A hand squeezed behind a boulder, eyes locking across the picnic table, loaded with promise. Evening bonfire crackled high, sparks spiraling into twilight like fireflies on steroids. Marshmallows charred on sticks, stories spun wild. Uncle Tom's war tales, cousins' college mishaps. Jordan sat close, thigh pressed to mine on the log bench, heat bleeding through jeans. His pinky hooked mine in the shadows, invisible tether. But tension simmered. Across the flames, cousin Lisa eyed us odd, brow furrowed. "You two seem tighter than usual." Teasing lilt, but it landed like a probe. Jordan chuckled smooth, poking the fire with a stick, embers flaring. "Blood's thicker, right?" But his grip tightened on my finger, knuckles white. Night deepened, group thinning as yawns spread. Back in the cabin, hall dark and quiet, we lingered at his door. "Come in," he whispered, voice rough with want. Inside, moonlight silvered the room, casting long shadows. We stripped slow this time, savoring. His shirt peeled off, revealing the constellation of moles across his ribs. I traced them with lips, tongue, eliciting shivers and sighs that pebbled his skin. Bed dipped under our weight, bodies entwining lazy, exploratory. His mouth on me, hot and reverent, drawing gasps I muffled in pillow. Then me on him, learning rhythms, the arch of his back under my hands like a bowstring drawn taut. We moved together, slick and synced, whispers fracturing into moans. There, harder, names gasped like prayers. Release built slow, cresting in waves that left us trembling, foreheads pressed, breaths mingling ragged. After, curled spooned, his arm heavy over my waist. I felt it. Peace, fragile as eggshell, but real. Morning brought rain, pattering steady on the tin roof, turning the lake to rippled gray. We woke to it, lazy in bed, fingers tracing lazy circles on bellies. "What now?" Jordan murmured, chin hooked over my shoulder, breath warm on neck. "Figure it out," I said, turning to kiss his temple. "One day at a time." But doubt gnawed, family reunion swelled tomorrow, full house, prying eyes. How long could we hide? Breakfast in the kitchen, rain drumming, Aunt Marie at the stove flipping eggs, radio crooning classic rock. Jordan poured coffee, hip bumping mine deliberate, a smirk playing. I shot him a look, behave, but heat pooled low. Day dragged wet, board games by the hearth, laughter masking undercurrents. His foot found mine under the coffee table, toes curling playful. Stolen kiss in the pantry. Flour-dusted shelves witness. Quick and fierce before voices neared. But cracks showed. During Monopoly, his laugh rang forced when Lisa ribbed, "Jordan, you're hogging all the properties. Stealing from Alex like always?" Eyes flicked to me, sharp. He deflected smooth, but later, alone on the porch, rain sheeting off eaves, he paced. "She's suspicious. We gotta cool it." I pulled him close, rain sent sharp, his body tense against mine. "Or own it. Eventually." Words bold, but fear coiled tight. Disownment, shattered bonds, the scarlet letter of taboo. He sighed deep, forehead to mine. "Can't lose you, or them." Conflict etched lines on his face, young features hardening. Night fell stormy, thunder rumbling distant. Cabin lights flickered, casting jittery shadows. We met in the loft, away from ears, bodies crashing urgent, need amplified by risk. Hands everywhere, mouths devouring, the slap of skin punctuating claps of thunder. He rode me slow, eyes locked, rain lashing windows like applause. Climax shattered us, cries swallowed in kisses, afterglow humming electric. But dawn brought the influx. Cars lining the drive, relatives spilling out with coolers and hugs. Hellos drowned doubts, chaos a shield. Yet Lisa cornered me by the grill, burger spatula waving. "Spill. What's with you and Jordan? Glow like you won the lottery." Heart stuttered. "Just reconnecting." Smile strained, smoke stinging eyes. She hummed skeptical, flipping patties with a sizzle. "Reconnecting, huh? Be careful. Family's tricky." Warning hung, heavy as humidity. Afternoon blurred. Kids splashing in puddles, beers cracked, stories overlapping. Jordan grilled beside me, tongs clicking, our elbows brushing coated. But his laugh faltered when Dad clapped his back, booming, "Proud of you, son. Keeping the family flame lit." Guilt twisted. Flame, yeah, but twisted, burning wrong. Evening, group around the table, plates groaning with ribs and slaw. Toasts rang, glasses clinking crystal. Jordan's foot pressed mine under tablecloth, anchor in the storm. But eyes met across, Lisa's watchful. Later, slipping away to the boathouse, dusk purpled the water, crickets tuning up. Inside, amid ropes and life vests, we collided, desperate, devouring. His back to the wall, legs wrapped, thrusts deep and driving. Moans echoed off wood, muffled by thunder's growl. "Love you," he gasped, first time spoken, raw and wrecked. "Love you," echoed back, breaking me open. Release hit hard, bodies quaking, clinging like lifelines. But as we dressed, footsteps outside, crunching gravel. Froze, breaths held. Door creaked open. Lisa's silhouette. "Guys? Dinners." Light caught us, disheveled, flushed. Her eyes widened, gasp sharp. "Oh my God." World tilted. Jordan stepped forward, voice steady. "Lise, wait." She backed out, door banging shut. Rain swallowed her run. Silence deafened. We followed, hearts hammering, into the downpour. Porch light haloed her, soaked and stunned. "Cousins? That's wrong." "Not wrong." I cut in, water streaming down face. "Real." Aunt Marie appeared, towel in hand. "What's this?" Truth spilled then, halting, Jordan's hand in mine, grip iron. Stares burned, whispers hissed. Dad's face thundercloud. "Jesus, boys. Family?" Uproar erupted, yells overlapping, chairs scraping. Jordan's voice rose, cracking. "We've hidden long enough. It's love, damn it. Not some phase." I backed him, throat tight. "We didn't choose this, but we choose us." Chaos reigned, some storming out, others frozen. Aunt Marie wept silent, hand to mouth. Lisa hovered, torn. Hours later, house emptied, echoes mocking. We sat on the couch, spent, arms around each other. Lost them, Jordan whispered, head on my shoulder. Not all, I said, kissing his hair. And we found this. Resolution hung fragile, but in his arms, it felt like enough. For now. The morning after the blow-up dawned merciless. Sun-piercing clouds like accusatory fingers, turning the lake to shattered glass. Cabin felt hollowed out. Cupboards bare from hasty departures. Coffee pot cold. The air stale with unspoken accusations. Jordan and I moved like ghosts through the wreckage. Stacking chairs on the porch, their legs scraping wood like nails on chalkboard. Wiping counters smeared with last night's spills. Lemon scent sharp and futile against the rot of regret. He caught my eye over the sink, suds bubbling between us, a ghost of a smile. Coffee, voice rough from crying, eyes red-rimmed but clear. Yeah. I leaned in, quick peck. Comfort more than heat, grounding us. Aunt Marie shuffled in then, robe belted tight, face etched with lines that aged her overnight. No words at first, just the percolator's gurgle filling the void. She poured 3 mugs, hand steady, slid one to each, sat across, steam curling like question marks. Boys, she started, voice soft as flannel. Sigh escaped, long and laden. I raised you both after your folks split, watched you grow like my own. It's a lot. Jordan's mug trembled. Auntie, she held up hand, gentle. Heard enough last night. Heart's in the right place, but blood's blood. Society don't bend easy. Eyes flicked between us, softening. But love? That's rarer than sense. Just be smart. Relief cracked, tentative. Hugs followed. Awkward, bone-crushing. Her perfume of lavender and regret enveloping. She packed a bag by noon, kissed to foreheads. Cabin's yours a spell. Figure your path. Engine faded down the drive, leaving silence ringing. We exhaled together, collapsing on the couch, legs tangled. One ally, I murmured, fingers in his hair. Better than none. His hand slid under my shirt, palm flat on belly, tracing lazy. Heat stirred, but tempered too raw. Instead, we talked futures, fears. Him confessing high school crushes on teammates, buried under straight-laced Madison. Me admitting college experiments, drowned in denial. Afternoon, we hiked the back trail. Boots crunching leaves turned early gold. Air crisp with fall's whisper. Hands swung close, brushing deliberate. At the overlook, valley sprawling green and riverine. He pulled me down, backs to a boulder, kiss deepening slow. Here, he breathed against lips. With you. Exploration followed. Clothes rucked up, sun-dappling skin. His mouth hot on my chest, teeth grazing nipples to shivers. I reciprocated, hand stroking him firm, eliciting moans swallowed by wind. Pace built urgent, release spilling hot and hushed, bodies arching in tandem. After, zipped and composed, we lay staring sky, clouds scudding like thoughts. Phone buzzed then. Lisa. Text. Need to talk. Meet at the diner? Alone. Jordan's jaw tightened. Go. I'll hold here. Diner on the highway hummed retro, chrome stools. Jukebox crooning Johnny Cash. Grease scent thick. Lisa slid into the booth opposite, coffee black, eyes shadowed. Alex. Shit. Yeah. I stirred sugar pointless, spoon clinking. She leaned in, voice low. Freaked me out, but saw how you look at him. Real. Mom's torn. Loves you both, hates the optics. Paused, stirring her own. Dad? Furious. Talking disownment. Gut twisted. We knew. Sigh from her, mirroring Aunt Marie's. Give him time. And be safe. World's cruel to guys like you. Hand across table, squeeze brief. I'm here. Whatever. Drive back. Windows down. Wind whipping hair. her words buoyed. Jordan waited on the porch, book abandoned, worry etching brow. Updates spilled as we walked the shore, pebbles shifting underfoot, water lapping rhythmic. His relief mirrored mine, shoulders dropping, arms slinging casual around neck. Night, we cooked steak searing, sizzle and smoke-filling kitchen. Candles flickered on the table, scavenged from a drawer, wax dripping like tears. Wine loosened tongues, laughter bubbling over stories. That time we TP'd the principal's house, glitter in our hair for weeks. But under, gravity pulled. What if they never come around? Then we build our own, Jordan said, fork pausing, eyes fierce. You, me, Chicago-Madison commute. Make it work. Bed later, lovemaking tender, missionary, faces inches, breath sinking. His hips rolled slow, deep, drawing sighs from me like confessions. Fingers interlaced, pinned above head, vulnerability raw. Forever, he whispered, pace quickening. Forever, gasped back, climax coiling tight, shattering in unison, waves lapping us spent. Week blurred domestic. Mornings tangled in sheets, coffee in bed. Afternoons exploring. Kayaks on the lake, paddles dipping syncopated, splashes cool. Evenings porch swinged, stars pricking black, his head on thigh, fingers combing hair. Intimacy deepened, not just bodies but souls. Shared playlists, vinyl crackling old Springsteen. Debates on history docs, his teacher passion igniting. But calls came, Dad's, gruff voicemail. Sort your head, son. This ain't right. Deleted, but stung. Jordan's mom, tearful. Come home, baby. We can fix. He hung up mid-sentence, face crumpling. I held him then, rocking gentle, whispers of strong and enough. Climax brewed midweek. Reunion's shadow loomed, but we planned our escape. Drive to the city, face the music. Night before, bonfire our own, logs popping, flames dancing orange. Marshmallows forgotten, we stripped by the pit, firelight gilding skin gold. On the blanket, primal, him on all fours, my hands gripping hips, thrusts deep and driving, moans rising with sparks. Reversed, him taking me, pace relentless, nails raking back to red lines. Release roared, bodies convulsing, fire's heat secondary to ours. After, wrapped in the wool, embers glowing, he traced my jaw. Ready, nodded, throat tight. With you? Always. Dawn, packed the truck. Duffel zipped, cabin locked, key under mat for Aunt Marie. Highway unspooled. Radio low on NPR, trees blurring green. Tension hummed, hands clasped over console. Chicago loomed, skyline steel and glass, my apartment a beacon. But first, stop. His parents in Madison, confrontation unavoidable. Pulled up curbside, engine ticking cool, house lights warm through curtains. Jordan squeezed my hand. Together. Door opened to his mom's embrace. Fierce, tear damp. Dad hovering stern in the hall. Dinner awkward. Plates clinking, silverware scraping, words minced. We love you, Mom said finally, voice wobbling. But this, cousins. What'll people say? Jordan's fork dropped, clatter sharp. People? Or you? Voice rose, edged. I've lived half a life hiding. Alex too. This is us, messy, real. Judge if you must, but don't shut us out. Dad cleared throat, mustache twitching. Tradition matters, son. Family line. I jumped in, pulse thundering. Love doesn't follow lines. It redraws them. Air thickened, breaths held. Silence stretched, clock ticking loud. Then Mom reached, hand over his. We try. For you. Not absolution, but a crack light through fissure. Hugs goodbye, promises tentative. Holiday invites, calls weekly. My place next, looping Dan Ryan, horns blaring, city pulse quickening. Unlocked door to familiar chaos. Sketches pinned walls, takeout boxes stacked. Jordan dropped bag, whirled me against it, kiss hungry. Ours, he growled, hands roaming. Bedroom tumble, sheets cool, bodies hot. 69, mouths eager, moans vibrating bone deep. Switched, him inside, rhythm building to frenzy, headboard thumping wall. Climax crashed, cries echoing empty hall, leaving us boneless, laughter bubbling after. Week settled, him commuting weekends, me freelancing flexible. Dates snuck, Navy Pier at dusk, Ferris wheel creaking slow, city lights winking below. His classroom after hours, chalk dust on fingers, lesson plans forgotten for desk sex urgent. But ripples spread. Whispers at his school, raised brows. My buddy's texts probing. Heard about you in Jordan? WTF? Isolation crept, but we armored. Brunches with Lisa, her stories buoying. Aunt Marie's packages. Cookies, notes, proud. Conflict peaked Thanksgiving. Full table, tensions taut as turkey wire. Dad's silence thundered. Toast skirted us. Post-feast, backyard, leaves crunching, he pulled me aside. Cigar smoke curled acrid. Hurts, son. But seeing you, alive, may be worth it. Tears pricked. Hug followed, stiff but thawing. Night, guest room, Jordan's arms sanctuary. Love-making quiet, side by side. Legs scissored, thrusts gentle rolling. Whispers of gratitude, release soft and shared, sealing the mend. Winter clamped Chicago in iron. Winds howling off the lake like banshees. Snow piling drifts against my building's plate glass, muffling the city's roar to a hush. Jordan's visits became lifelines. Friday nights, train rumbling in from Madison, his knock echoing hollow halls. I'd haul him upstairs, bags thumping, into arms that smelled of platform diesel and home. We carved routines in the frost. Mornings slow, coffee brewing as bodies warmed under flannel, his laugh rumbling against my neck. Daze me at the drafting table, pixels dancing under cursor, him texting flirty from faculty lounge. Kids debating Lincoln today. Wish you were here to argue. Evenings tangled. Takeout ties steaming on the coffee table, chopsticks clacking, Netflix flickering true crime docs, his commentary dry and sharp. Intimacy evolved, less frenzy, more map-making. Showers together, steam fogging mirrors, soap-slick hands exploring scars and freckles. Lazy Sundays, him cooking eggs scrambled loose, me sketching him unawares. Pencil shading the curve of his smile, vulnerable in repose. Sex varied. Rough against the kitchen counter, dishes rattling, his growl low in my ear. Tender in bed, 69 languid, tongues tracing lazy until shutters built inevitable. But shadows lengthened. His principal called, concerns from parents, whispers of lifestyle, bleeding into tenure talks. Jordan's voice cracked over phone. Late one night, me pacing the rug threadbare. They want me to tone it down, like who I am's a phase. Fury boiled. Fuck 'em. You're brilliant. Kids need that fire. Drove down next weekend, unannounced, storming the school lot slick with ice. Waited in the car, heater blasting, until bell rang. Kids spilling out bundled. He emerged, coat flapping, spotting me. Surprise melting to grin. Diner debrief. Booths vinyl cracked, pie steaming apple sweet. Hero complex? He teased, fork spearing crust. Support system, countered, foot hooking his under table. Plan hatched, job hunt in the city, closer orbits. Spring thawed tentative, crocuses poking snowmelt, air greening with promise. We weekend the cabin, now sanctuary, not cage. Porch rockers creaking, feet propped rail, beers sweating. One dusk, fireflies winking, he dropped to knee. Not ring, but a key, cabin spare, engraved hours. Build here? Summers, winters. Us. Tears stung, pulling him up, kiss salt-tanged. Yes. Passion followed on the dock, moon path silvering water, clothes shed hasty. Him bending me over the edge, thrusts sinking with lap-lap waves, moans carried on breeze. Reversed, me taking control, his pleas fracturing air. More, Alex. Climax exploding starburst, bodies quaking in aftershocks. City life synced. He landed adjunct gig at a community college. Commute slashed. Shared lease downtown, loft high, windows framing skyline electric. Move in chaos. Boxes tumbling, laughs echoing bare walls. First night, mattress on floor, pizza boxes strewn. We christened it slow. Candlelight guttering, bodies oiled and urgent. Positions shifting fluid till dawn pinked the horizon. Family mended piecemeal. Aunt Marie's visits, quilts folded precise, talks veering gentle to advice. Where your truth light, boys. Lisa's brunches, mimosas bubbling, her dating woes traded for our triumphs. Dad's thaw slowest, gruff cards on birthdays, thinking of ya. Culminating Father's Day grill out, burgers charring, his clap on Jordan's shoulder. Good man, both of ya. But external gales howled. Pride Month rolled, parade's thumping bass distant, but Barb's closer. Graffiti on our building, fags go home, pink paint dripping like blood. Jordan found it, scrubbing furious at dawn, knuckles raw. I pulled him inside, held tight as sobs racked. Why us? Just love. Rage simmered days, channeled. Joined a support group, circle of faces scarred similar, stories weaving solidarity. His hand in mine under folding chairs, anchor. Climax brewed summer, wedding invite from Lisa, backyard affair in the woods. RSVPs exchanged glances loaded. Go? He asked, envelope crisp in hand. Together, arm in arm. Prep frenzy. Suits tailored slim, ties knotted mirror-checked. Ceremony under oaks, vows soft and sworn, her gown lace whispering. Reception tent glowed lantern lit, band swinging standards. We danced, slow sway to Sinatra, his chin on my shoulder, world fading to heartbeat. But whispers slithered, aunts clucking tongues, uncles averting eyes. Dad pulled Jordan aside post-toast, words low. Eavesdropped fragments, proud, despite, enough. Night waned, stars pricking velvet. Slipped away to the lake, ties loosened, shoes kicked shore. Waded in, water cool to knees, moon full witness. Kiss deepened, hands unbuttoning deliberate. Sank to shallows, waves caressing, him straddling, rhythm building tidal. Thrusts urgent, splashes punctuating gasps. Love, always. Release cresting with a cry, echoing woods. After, toweling dry on sand, fire distant, he murmured, marry me? Legal, real. Heart swelled. Hell yes. Fall gilded edges, leaves flaming, air crisp bite. Planning commenced. Simple ceremony, city hall crisp, then cabin reception. Rings simple, silver bands etched initials cool on fingers. But storm hit pre-holidays. His ex from college surfaced, email chain unearthed accidental. Old flames flickering, Jordan's replies tepid but existent. Jealousy gnawed, ugly and sharp. Confrontation brewed over dinner, takeout cooling forgotten. Why keep it? Voice edged, fork stabbing rice. He sighed, head in hands. Closure. Thought it was past. I pleaded. You're it, Alex. Only. Doubt festered nights, sleep fractured. Weekend alone at cabin, therapy solo. Words spilling to empty rooms. Fear of loss. Hike cleared head, trail crunching resolute, epiphany at overlook. Trust rebuilt, brick by brick. Reunion raw, airport pickup, his hug bone melt. Home, talk unarmored, tears, truths, touches healing. Bed that night, forgiveness physical, me bound wrists silk soft, Him teasing slow, building ache to shattering plea. Switched, trust absolute, pace forgiving till ecstasy bound us tighter. Holidays dawned bright. Joint family dinner. Tables groaning turkey and pie. Toasts tentative but warming. Dad's speech stumbled. Family's what we make. Eyes wet, clap resounding. New Year's Eve, loft aglow, countdown ticking plasma. Ball dropped, kiss eternal, confetti snowing. Then, guests cleared, us alone. Champagne fizzing, bodies slick on rug, love-making marathon. Positions kaleidoscopic, laughs interspersing moans. Dawn finding us sated, rings glinting. Spring wedding bloomed. Cherry petals confetti natural, vows exchanged trembling. In chaos, you, through storms us. Rings slid home, cheers mixed, some strained, but growing. Reception wild. Band thumping Motown, dances sweaty, cakes smashed faces laughing. Honeymoon cabin bound, days lazy. Fishing lazy lines, nights firelit fervent. Outdoor tub steaming, him in lap, water sloshing rhythmic to thrusts, stars overhead witnesses. Life settled deeper, careers climbing. My designs gallery hung, his classes packed. Home nested, shelves books mingled, walls photos framed. Us grinning hikes, holidays healing. But meaning rooted in quiet. Morning coffees shared, sighs content. Arguments aired, makeup fierce and fond. Love not fireworks eternal, but embers banked, warming steady. One anniversary, dock at dusk, he knelt again, vows renewed, rings kissed. Core of me, he said. Froze me then, I replied, pulling close. Thaws me now. Years layered like lake silt, thickening our story. Chicago's pulse our backdrop. Skyline sentinel through seasons turn. At 32, I freelanced full, studio loft our canvas. Walls splashed client visions, but home's heart Jordans. Bookshelves groaning history tomes. Kitchen herbs thriving window sealed. He taught full-time now, tenured secure, voice commanding lecture halls, passion undimmed. Routines ritual, weekday texts, miss your chaos from him, emoji winking. Weekends cabin escapes, drive humming podcasts deep, sex seasoned. Quickies hallway fumbled, coats half on. Marathons weekend long, toys introduced tentative, boundaries pushed playful. Blindfolds silk, whispers commanding shivers. Family wove tighter. Aunt Marie's weekly calls, voice frail but feisty. Lisa's kids toddling visits, chubby hands tugging. Uncle Alex Jordan, Dad's evolution pinnacle. Annual fishing trips, boat rocking gentle. Beers cracked, talks veering from weather to proud, son. Real proud, but undercurrents stirred. Jordan's restlessness surfaced subtle. Late nights grating, sighs heavier, eyes distant over dinner. Ever think kids? He asked one eve, fork twirling pasta, sauce steaming garlic rich. Heart stuttered. Yeah. Surrogacy? Adoption? Words hung, air thickening. Nod slow. Want mini us. Chaos and all. Dream seated, sprouted frantic. Agency meetings sterile, papers shuffling. Profiles poured, hearts tugged by bios earnest. Wait stretched months, agony acute, hope's knife edge. Climax crash summer. Match found, woman earnest, story resonating. Meetings cautious, coffees tentative, bonds tentative knitting. Pregnancy confirmed autumn, ultrasound grainy miracle, tiny heartbeat fluttering. Joy flooded, but fear shadowed. Jordan's pacing nights, hand on my belly instinctive. What if we're shit dads? Voice cracked, moon silvering worry. Pulled him close, sheets whispering. We'll learn, like everything. Love making that night tender. Him atop, pace measured. Hands cradling as if already fathering. Moans soft, release gentle wave. Afterglow whispers vowing strength. Winter swelled belly, kicks rippling like secrets shared. Cravings hit, pickles midnight munch, me raiding fridge giggling. Doctor visits routine, hands clasped waiting rooms, scans pinned fridge like trophies. Birth spring thawed, hospital hum sterile, contractions gripping like vices. Jordan coached breaths, face pale but anchor. Breathe, love, you're fierce. Push after push, cry rent air. Son, Elias, red and wailing, 10 fingers tiny. Held him first, Jordan's eyes wet mirrors. Ours, he breathed, finger tracing cheek downy. Parenthood appended. Nights fractured cries, days blur feed burp sleep. Diapers daisy chained, bottles warmed hasty. But magic threaded. Elias's coos dawn chirping, first smile gummy dawn. Jordan rocked him midnight, lullabies hummed off key, my heart clenching. Challenges mounted. Sleep deprivation frayed tempers. Arguments snapped over bottles warm or cool. Work juggled, deadlines looming amid playpen chaos. One night, Elias colicky wailing, Jordan broke. Tears hot. Can't do this. Held him on kitchen tile cold, Elias between rocking tandem. We are. Together. Kiss foreheads both salt mingling. Therapy joined. Couples sessions, words unpacking. Postpartum shadows on him. Guilt's weight on me. Tools gleaned. Date nights babysitter bound. Loft candlelit. Reconnection slow. Massages oil slick. Kisses rediscovering. Summer stabilized. Cabin weeks. Elias splashing shallows. Giggles bubbling. Family converged. Grandparents cooing. Dad's gruff, good job, boys. Barbecues smoked savory. Stories circled fire, Elias drowsing lap. Growth accelerated. First steps wobbly dockside. Jordan catching tumble. Cheers echoing lake. Words babbled. Dada duel. Confusion charming. School hunts begun. Preschools toured. Backpacks tiny prepped. But under, our core endured. Anniversaries stolen. Elias napping. Us porch swinged. Hands laced. Memories murmured. Sex rekindled fierce. Cabin loft. Elias downstairs. Pace hushed but hungry. Him against wall. Thrusts pinning. Bites muffled shoulder to bruise faint. Conflict crested Elias's fourth. Fever spiking night. ER-lights flashing red. Waiting room fluorescent harsh, Jordan's hand vice grip. Hold on, buddy, he whispered to empty air. Diagnosis flu, relief crashing. Home dawn, Elias medicated sleeping. We collapsed bed bodies seeking solace, sex raw cathartic. Missionary desperate, eyes locked, tears tracking temples. Don't leave, gasped, though no threat loomed. Never, vowed, pace building to release purging, sobs intermingling. Resolution bloomed, support networks knit, playgroups dad-led, bonds forged over juice boxes. Vacations tented, stars canopy, Elias's wonders wide-eyed. Elias's school start teary. Backpack slung, hands small in hours, classroom chaos colorful. Jordan wiped eyes surreptitious, my throat bobbed. He's ready. Afternoon pickup, grin gap-toothed. Made friends. Evenings homework halted, stories spun, our tales sanitized, heroes us veiled. Bedtime rituals. Baths bubbly, books dog-eared, kisses layered. Anniversary 10th loomed. Surprise planned. Babysitter leases. Dinner rooftop. City twinkling below. Suits sharp. Ties silk. His eyes sparkled candle flame. Remember the door? He toasted, glass clinking. Froze me. I countered, foot teasing shin. Thawed everything. Hotel night opulent. Sweet hushed. Champagne bubbling. Undressed slow. Mirrors multiplying. Him behind. Hands roaming. Reflection infinite. Bed vast. Explorations exhaustive. Toys velvet-wrapped, positions acrobatic, laughs gasping. Climax symphony, multiple, shattering, bodies quaking dawn. Parenthood deepened us. Elias's questions probing, why two daddies? Answered simple, love makes family. Challenges lingered. Schoolyard taunts subtle, weird family whispers. Jordan's advocacy flared. PDA pushes inclusive, voice steady rostrum. Backlash hissed, but allies rose. My exhibit opening pinnacle. Gallery white-walled, designs bold, Elias finger-painting corner proud. Jordan's arm waist-snaked, whisper hot, sexy creator. After party loft-packed, toast sloshing. Late, guests gone, Elias Abed, we celebrated private. Counter perch, him kneeling worshipful, mouth hot enveloping till knees buckled. Reciprocated, bed-bound, him riding fervent, cries crescendoing release duel. Years stacked, Elias tweening, soccer fields green, cheers sideline. Us graying temples, lines laugh-etched, but touch electric. Mornings quick shower shared, evenings porch beers, feet tangled. Conflict minor now. Empty nest looming, dreams deferred, travel fantasized, Europe maps poured. But rooted content. One eve, cabin dock, Elias 18 visiting, girl shy on arm. Us watching sunset, hands clasped. Full circle, Jordan murmured, head shoulder nested. Yeah, I said, kissing crown. Core still you. Decades distilled to essence. Elias grown. College-bound backpack slung. Hugs airport crushing. Tears veiled behind grins. Love you, dads, he said. Gate swallowing, leaving echo hollow. Drive home silent first. Then Jordan's hand thigh squeezed. Proud. Loft felt vast, ghosts of toys and tantrums lingering. We filled it deliberate. Trips plotted, Paris cobbled, sane lapping cafe chairs, croissants flaking fingers laced. Hikes appellation, boots mud-caked, vistas vast. Sex reignited youthful. Roleplay playful him stranger bar picked. Loft dimmed, seduction scripted husky. Tantra slow, breaths synced candle flicker. Edges teased till implosion white hot. Family full. Grandkids now. Lisa's brood tumbling cabin floors. Squeals pine-scented. Dad's 90th. Care home quiet. Stories looped fond. Wouldn't change a thing boys. Passing gentle. Hand clasp dual. Legacy warm. Jordan's retirement dawned. Classroom farewell teary. Kids' cards crayon scrawled. Professor forever, I teased, plaque polished desk. His book followed, memoir veiled, history queer lens, pages turned night's bedside. Launch signing hectic, lines snaking, my arm proud waist. After, hotel suite, celebration carnal. Ties binding playful, him submitting eager, commands whispered till surrender quaking. My 60th canvas vast, retrospective gallery, walls echoing youth sketches to now's depth. Jordan's dedication plaque, to the one who opened doors. Toast choked, eyes his anchor. Aging crept graceful. Joints creakier, hairs silvered, but desire undimmed. Mornings mutual. Hands sure despite tremors. Afternoons naps entwined, breaths soft symphony. Conflict final soft. Diagnosis his, prostate slow, treatments looming. Waiting rooms beige, hands clasped eternal. Fight it, I vowed voice steel. Chemo cycles blurred. Nausea nights, my soup's simmering ginger soothed. Hair tufted falling, shaves ritual buzzed, laughs defiant. Intimacy adapted. Touches gentle, mouths reverent, pleasure peaks patient built. Remission whispered spring, scans clear, cheers champagne-soaked. Cabin healing. Dock lounged, sun skin kissing, Elias visiting stories swapped. Legacy bloomed. Foundation hours. Scholarships queer youth. cabins donated retreats. Speeches joint, voices twined. Love defies doors. Elias's wedding autumnal. Isle leaves gold, vows echoing hours. Rings exchanged, our nod teary. Dance father-son slow, Jordan's whisper. Your turn now. Honeymoon send-off, us reminiscing drive home. Radio crooning our song, Springsteen gravel rough. Loft, bed welcoming, love-making nostalgic. Missionary classic, eyes locked decades deep, pace unhurried crests. Years wane gentle. Grandkids' graduations, cheers hoarse but heartfelt. Travels wheeled now, cruises deck sunned, hands gnarled laced. Final winter, snow feathering pains, Jordan weakened, bed bound, my vigil constant. Stories spun soft. That door creak, freeze to fire. Best plot, he murmured, breath feathering cheek. Rewrite, teased, tear-tracked. Nah, perfect. Kiss last, lips cool, hand slackening. Grief tsunami. Days blurred gray, cabin empty echo. Elias's arm steady. He'd want joy. Therapy threads pulled. Groups widowed queer. Stories shared salt stung. Spring thawed. Garden planted herbs his favor. Shoots greening resolve. Rites poured. Memoir joint. Pages his voice channeled. Anniversaries marked solo. Dock candle. Wind sighing names. Love echoed, not lost, core thought eternal. Years later, reflection porch swing creak. Book in lap sign to Alex, who saw me first. Smile soft, sunset gilding lake. Door opened once, world remade. Meaning? In the freeze, warmth born. In loss, legacy lives. Elias calls. Dad? Grandkids asking stories. Laughter bubbles. Gather round. Once, I opened a door. Fade to credits, heart full, echo eternal.